the things that you have it connected to right now?
Yeah, it should
Is
be
it connected like Facebook and all that stuff? Okay.
That's what I was going to say. Just make sure, like, before we just start, let's just kind of make sure it all happened again. It should be, though.
We got one right now, yeah, so it's starting.
Okay. So it should be.
You ready?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. Hey, welcome to another episode of Two Hippies, One Drunk. I'm your host this week, Scott Ryan.
One of the hippies.
Yep. Sitting next to me is Tyler Charles.
One of the other hippies.
Yep. And we got Eric on the Zoom call right here.
What up, Eric?
Facebook Live. Yep. Yeah, if you guys could go, we appreciate you being here right now. Check out our Facebook page like that if you haven't. We got a YouTube channel as well, Two Hippies, One Drunk. Go there if you could subscribe and like those. You know, it really helps podcasts get going. Really helps really helps us out, and we'd appreciate it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So,
God, it's sounding so much better this week. For the people that listened last week, that was a kind of a, we have some growing pains going on, but I think that this is looking great, dude. You guys are looking awesome.
Yeah, it looks
sure,
yeah. You too, man.
Got the mics going, the sound's equal. Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Eric, as far as the intro?
No, you did a good job, Scott, for not being a seasoned professional like myself. A seasoned professional who's doing this out of his parents' basement with a throw blanket behind him, but nonetheless.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about this week?
Yeah, okay, so kind of, we'll probably end up having little bit of different styles to each of our weeks or whatever. I imagine, like, you did your whole, you wanted to prove wrestling was the best sport last week or whatever. I imagine mine a lot of the time will probably be me more so just telling you guys about some shit that's super interesting to me and we could talk about it.
Totally.
I have this week 17 different reality show deaths. I thought we could go through.
Now, are these real quick? Are these due to the all like results of the show, or are some of them like almost wrestling, where a guy just they were a nut job and they died in another fashion? You know what I mean?
It's a combination of both for sure.
Okay.
And to be honest, these 17, I tried to
so many. Like he was saying that like
a shitload of reality shows though.
Sort through at least like 50 of them to get the interesting ones.
Yeah,
but 50.
Because a lot of them are, they were on this reality show, they killed themselves 6 months later. People think it was related. They were really depressed afterwards or whatever.
You had to be. There was a time when I get why people wanted to do reality shows. I mean, there were, and the funny thing is, as we know now, so many of them were way more scripted than we realized. But like, there was a reason to believe that, like, this could be my break into entertainment. But I think they didn't realize how the problem was with how so many of them are set up. Then all people saw you as, like, if you were on freaking Teen Mom, no one really saw you as becoming then like. A big actress in like multi-million-dollar movies necessarily.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It is a very specific career path. Like, you are giving up being on TV, you're giving up being in movies, and a lot of these people are actors, so that is something that matters to them.
For sure.
For me personally, if I had the chance to be on a reality show, knowing everything I know, I would do it in 1 second.
Oh yeah, I would
absolutely, dude. Your life afterwards is literally like. You just make appearances at clubs and bars. They pay you $500 for the night. You're plowing ass left and right.
Hard to say that would be like a good life. That's such a like gross, seedy lifestyle. Whether or not you're making money or not, like
it depends on how you're going into it, though.
Clubs.
It depends on what your mindset is going into it.
The worst people on the planet.
It's better than my life now. Is what
I disagree with that. I think you're a better person than any of them. I make
like $200 a day working at a sushi restaurant all day. If I could go and get drunk
you're a better
for 3
person
hours,
because maybe that humbles you enough not to be a piece of shit.
I want to be a piece of shit. Give me the money.
Dude, the only reason, I'm not going to say the only reason I didn't become a reality star, there's lots of reasons, there's lots of luck. But honestly, when it was really big, I was not technology enough. I'm still not great with technology, but
you're not technology enough.
I wasn't smart enough and to understand how to like make a video and I like make a like stupid I want to be, because I wanted to always be on like The Amazing Race. I thought The Amazing Race would have been cool, but I just didn't really have, I don't know, I didn't have enough confidence, or like, and despite the fact that I used to do like a lot of those Jackass video kind of stuff with my friends, I didn't have enough confidence to like ask one of them to film me do a what would you call a tryout video to be like on Made or on Real World or whatever.
Yeah, that's what stopped you. You didn't have enough confidence to just be like your friends, like, let's get drunk and do this bullshit one afternoon.
I guess. Like I said, there's obviously lots of things. I mean, I'm not very good looking. Is one. That's probably a big one. Matter. Actually,
you need a couple of weirdos on a reality show.
Yeah, have you seen the show we just watched? That the Chance,
One More Chance.
One More Chance had a 70-year-old lady on it.
Yeah.
So like,
sure. Oh well, dude.
Okay, so
they got ones now that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so your reality show you would be on is Amazing Race.
I always wanted to be on either. The funny thing is, I want to be on Real World because less beyond getting famous afterwards. Like even though that did appeal to me, I always wanted to be famous. But I had such a hard time getting laid that I just thought, well, if I go on the Real World, I'll get laid.
Yeah, I mean, you will. That is the thing. Even if that's what I'm saying, like that's why I would do it no matter what. Because your worst case scenario, even if you are a villain, even if you are treated like an idiot and a jackass, your worst case scenario is you still get to make appearances at clubs for money and get laid.
Right, exactly.
That's not a good aspiration.
Yeah, people giving you free drugs.
I'm not saying it isn't.
I don't. Your dream life is very. I don't know if I'm on board with this drug.
Tyler, I will say I'm
depravity.
Tyler, you have to understand though. Tyler, you have to understand though. Like I know what you're saying, but like at least on my perspective, dude, I grew up in and I'm not trying to like whatever my life was, but like I grew up like an example, like people are like, oh yeah, I had a few girlfriends in high school, or dude, I had nothing. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I
get it. I'm just saying my end goal, like if we had to pick which reality shows we were gonna be on, I was thinking of like Scott had mentioned that, like I was thinking about it, and it's like if the end goal was getting honestly, I Love Money might be the best one because it's like it takes away all the bullshit. You're probably still getting laid, and you have
you definitely do.
You definitely get laid. They're fucking on that show all the time. They're fucking each other. Like, so,
and there's any show like.
The funny thing is, a lot of those didn't even win money.
Kid Nation, just for the record, like I feel like maybe Kid Nation is the one I'd be on because it's got money. It's got crazy circumstances. It's more or less the Lord of the Flies situation.
Yeah, it would be the same for me. I think you probably already know this, Tyler, but for sure it would be the VH1 of love shows. Like,
would you want to be on like
you have to be on the of love first?
No, I'm saying like, would you be a person that comes in to try to date a contestant?
I would want to be. Well, no, if you could. The thing is, you have to be famous. A contestant first. Yeah, and then you get to maybe do that.
Well, you don't even get to do those appearances if you're not.
If I had the choice, I'd be the fucking dude who's got like 20 women after it. You can get to eliminate people.
Yeah, fair enough.
But that's not how those shows work.
So you would be on I Love Money. Or not I Love Money. Any of the
of love shows.
Well, like here's an example, dude. This isn't really it is a reality show, but it was almost like a reality show before like we hadn't knew the term reality show. But I always remember like Steve-O talking about this. Like Steve-O was just some, absolute fuck up of a guy, poor, living like out of his car, a failed, college student, yada yada. And he did the goldfish trick. They filmed it, and he said whenever they filmed it compared to when it got aired on MTV, like this again. Now there's almost so much platform that you probably miss things, but back then when there wasn't much out there, dude, he literally in his book was like, the next day they aired the goldfish trick, I went to the bar and it was just boom, getting girls. Yeah, that's it. All he did is swallow a goldfish on Jackass, and then next day in bars, it goes on TV.
If you have the most basic level of fame, you constantly have the option to get laid.
That's the thing, and I don't ever expect to be a TV or a movie star. So reality show, that's the best I'm gonna get. Like I'm.
Fair enough. I'd like to make my that like maybe
Look at dude,
200 people really, really love.
To Tyler's point, by the way,
that is a good thing.
To Tyler's point, by the way, and I'm not saying this in any bragging, bodacious manner, even though it's going to sound like that, but he's right. Like, look at dude, I've been lucky enough that I've done a little, gone a few okay comedy shows and was on a podcast that had, some okay, pretty decent listener base. And I think I'm 36 right now. I turned 37 in like a month. And out of the girls I've had sex with, I think that 70% of them have come from my mild level of success, like fame.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like I think there's only been one or two.
Like Eric, you're a cool dude. Like you're a good dude. You should be able to get that before that level of fame. Like,
I needed it.
Fair enough. I need some people too. So, I was gonna say,
you want to get to the deaths?
I want to know. Yeah, the worst deaths. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, here I'm gonna start. I'm gonna ease you guys into it. First, what? Steve Irwin. We all know Steve Irwin.
That was
right.
At least I say that's not that big of a deal. Like he died doing what he loved. That's not a bad way to go. He was 44, which is pretty young, but I think that's probably the best.
He loved petting stingrays, and he died getting stabbed through the heart by one. I guess. Like, yeah.
I mean, that is pretty badass.
Yeah, I mean, like that. If you don't legacy,
like,
a stingray killed me.
And I would say, treat him like a hero.
But the thing is, with that death, he's
a goddamn hero. He saved so many animals, man. I'm just saying, like, he lived a full life in that 44 years.
Well, not just that, though. With his death, like, honestly, like, his death is a memorable death in the sense of, but you know what? Not in a typical, what you're probably going to go down route. Like, not like in a Chris Farley death where he died, doing, drugs and whatever shit.
Chris Farley died doing what he loved, too.
Well, that's true. That's true. But that's true. But now, you know what I think you know what I mean, though, like in a sense, like it was a very, it wasn't a seedy death. I mean, or underbelly when Tyler talks about this underbelly, or it wasn't him in a, found dead in a ditch or something. I mean, he was just,
doing
it's part of doing his thing. And everyone remembers it.
Yeah, that's true.
And we can see his daughter like once a year now come out and talk about it. So,
all right, I'm going to go down my list. Okay. So while we're on let me see, where do I want to go with this? All right. So, there was a guy named, Russell Armstrong on, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Have you watched it?
I know the shows. I'm familiar with the genre.
Okay.
Of the shows.
Yeah. They're garbage. They're terrible.
Terrible. Those are some seedy people.
In so much of a regular season, it's like half-ass drama and wealth porn. It's not great, but The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 2, where Russell Armstrong killed himself.
Now, was he an actual person? Television. Was he like a husband on the show?
Yeah.
Yep. He was, the situation was basically throughout the course of Season 2, he
did they unfold? Like they showed him being depressed and like
No. Okay, well, this is the thing. He is in the first half of it. They exclude him from the second half. He killed himself right after filming the second season.
Gotcha.
But they go into pretty fucked up territory because his wife on the show basically comes out that he's been physically abusive to her on the show.
God,
so that he was having money problems too, but a lot of people are like the money problems combined with being called a wife beater on TV.
The only reason I even know anything about this is because we used to have a podcast called Television Hell, and we watched that season because that shit.
I will tell anybody it is one of the most compelling seasons.
It is because it feels like there's this dark thing underneath.
That's crazy.
That it's there, like, because they don't even show the guy that much. Like, he's not really in that season a lot. But something's going on that's not just this surface level, like, reality show. Like, this is fun, and we're being, like, catty and stuff. Yeah. It was more like, no, there's some real shit going on with this person.
Well, and he's not in the second half, but a huge plot line in the second half is his
did they reference it at all? Or...
Did they reference the death? Yes.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season, they're at his funeral.
Uh-huh.
Oh, then, really? Holy shit.
Right. That's how
I might want to watch that episode.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
I mean, they're legit at the funeral?
Yeah.
They're legit at the funeral. Yeah.
I mean, are they still doing the dramatic looks and the music in the background?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and like
and then they walk out and are they all catty? Are they walking out and like blah blah blah? Are they kind of keep it a little?
They're walking out like we've all been through some shit, and so we're all, regardless of our personal views on each other, we care about each other.
You know what's funny, by the way? Real quick, this is off subject, but it's kind of remind me of it when because you mentioned this. I only watched one full season that I watch of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but it was like the New York episode season when they were in New York or something.
Sure.
The only reason I watched was because I knew Kim Kardashian had broken up with her husband, the basketball player, Blake Griffin, I think it was, the basketball player. And I just was like, I want to watch this happen on TV. And I waited the whole fucking season. And all they did is in the last episode, I went to black and said, well, some things are private in life and we blah, blah. And I'm like, no,
that sucks.
No,
man.
You signed up the deal. You signed up to be on reality television. It's not privacy, you bitch. No. Like, this is fucking, let me see.
Yeah, you can't lead up to something and then pull the trick, like, not
and then just it fades to black. I remember watching it with my sister and like, oh my God, final episode, it's got to come up. And it's just like, some things in life are private, and we were blah, blah, blah.
That is some bullshit. I'd be legit mad.
All right, hey, let's do a fun one. In Canada, Cash Cab, they have a Canadian version of Cash Cab, and the Cash Cab hit a pedestrian.
They have cabs in Canada?
They hit a pedestrian? A Cash Cab guy?
Yeah.
That's fucked up!
Yeah.
Did they show it? Did they, like... They never aired the episode.
No,
right?
they never aired the episode.
Wait, what happened? What happened?
In the car, or was it just like the guy driving?
It was the guy. They were filming the episode, so I'm assuming there was a contestant.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like,
so a contestant in the show was possessed? You said
no. There was the Cash Cab. You know how they drive around and ask questions. The Cash Cab accidentally hit a pedestrian and killed him.
Could you imagine being a contestant in the car? And it's like,
that's fucking awesome.
So insane.
Oh my God! And he died?
Yeah, he died.
Holy shit!
Man, that is awful.
Seriously.
I feel bad, but that's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And imagine being a contestant like, man, this sucks, but like, are we going to finish my questions?
Right. Like, dude, I still get the money.
Yeah, I do. I still get the money. Also, the Cash Cab drivers gotta be like, I'm so fucked. Like, this isn't even just, I wasn't just driving around.
And Tyler.
I'm on TV.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm getting out of this.
And Tyler, think about this, dude. This guy is, I mean, he's obviously got it made. He's running Cash Cab Canada. You know what I mean? He is the guy. And
now everybody knows Cash Cab Canada, man.
I don't even know where they take cabs in Canada too. Where
Cash Cab Canada?
I don't know, but they probably do.
But like he's like, and so his whole life, like, just driving that car, and now he drills this person, and it's just like,
oh, my life is over.
Yeah.
And then think about that, like a cop has to come to the scene, and you were in this car, like winning, like you said, that guy winning money and shit, and like, what if he'd won a certain amount of money?
Now you're a witness to a murder.
Yeah. All right, before we get into some of the darker shit, let's do another fun one. There was a guy on Cops who was a sound technician that died because a shootout happened between the cops and a burglar. But the cops accidentally killed the dude.
Accidentally.
Wait, what? Wait, what happened exactly?
There was a shootout between the cops and a burglar.
Okay.
And the cops accidentally shot one of the sound technicians.
I've always thought about that with Cops. Like, when you watch Cops, I mean, you know what I mean?
How did that happen? He just get in the way or something?
I'm assuming.
Oh.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Though, Scott, like,
bullets.
I've always thought about that with Cops. Like, I haven't watched it in a long time, and I guess it went off. Oh, that was maybe I don't know if Cops went off the air recently because of the protests or whatever. But I used to watch it once in a while, and it was like I always was like, dude, yeah, these cops are one thing, but some generic sound guy and camera dude has to run and follow these situations. Like,
for sure,
the cop is like one thing. He's getting paid and hypothetically was trained and yada yada. Yep. But this camera dude is just like lugging around a sound camera.
Sound technician, but still.
Well, I mean, other people though,
he's following the camera dude with the boom mic.
Yeah. Can you imagine that too? By the way, you're in your lowest point, getting arrested, someone lowering a boom mic onto your face.
And that, Cops is a fucked up.
No, dude, I could do an entire episode on Cops.
I know.
It's maybe a 3-part series. There's like a whole bunch of things to talk about that show.
There is a wonderful podcast called Running from Cops that does a great job of like laying out how shady that show is. Like in the last episode, they actually get original footage from Cops that was not aired and catch a cop planting cocaine in a
boy.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
Those things are so hard when you actually hear them. Like, they happen, but it's like when you really find the proof of it, it's like, fuck, dude. Oh, yeah. Well, by the way, how do you go about doing that shit? I know it sounds so dumb. We don't have to go on that tangent, but if you're being recorded for Cops, the TV show, wouldn't you a little more beyond your... Imagine what that dude did when there wasn't cameras around then. Oh, did you guys go away? Uh-oh.
Issue. There you go.
Okay, are you guys back? Oh boy. Uh-oh.
One of the things that they talk about, like that I've heard as far as Cops go, is like the reality show follows cops that do dramatics. So if you're a cop, you need to be producing dramatic arrests, going following you. Yeah,
for sure.
So it's but I'm sure they're doing awful. If you're willing that to be on reality TV, you're doing that shit in your just day-to-day life.
That's a great, dude. That is a great point. But I never thought about that now. But like until just when you just said that. But like, dude, everyone can have their feelings on Cops, and there's obviously good ones, but there are certainly so many of these egomaniac dudes that were just bullies in high school and couldn't do anything and became. And so I never even thought about. You're right, dude. If you're the cop willing to be on the camera and you get off on the fact that you're like fucking running after some dude and shit like that. There's no question.
I mean, that's who they're recruiting anyway. They're looking for those.
Well, and my thing is like, even if you wanted to, if you really think about it, like cops, they especially American cops have really serious issues, but like there is at least ostensibly a positive public service that they are doing on some level. Reality TV, none.
What?
Like, so you combine those two things where you're like, what if cops that already have issues get combined with reality TV
that pushes them over the edge?
That is just all about pushing limits and stuff.
That's America is the best, I suppose.
Cops is America's. Yeah, Cops the show is.
Well, I mean, obviously. What do you call that? Not literally.
It's a good representation of how.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it.
Yep.
Okay.
I still can't. Real quick. Going back to that, I got to be honest. Going back to that cash cab guy, I just can't. That is fucking. I'm sorry. That's fucking hilarious.
That's hilarious,
dude. Like, when I read that in my room yesterday, I busted out laughing. I was like, "This is the best."
Dude, that is just an example.
Funny when you bust out laughing alone.
Yeah,
I've talked about this on other, on other stuff before, but it's like that is just such an example of like. Dude, I'm not going to get into, whether you believe in a heaven or a hell or whatever you believe as far as what we're doing here. But it's like, dude, there is certainly a quote unquote, it was just that guy's time to die. Like, dude, there's nothing he could have done. It didn't matter if that guy did a shitload of drugs and it was like, it didn't matter what that pedestrian did. Because there's no way that led to him getting hit by a cash cab. Like it just... It just was his time.
Imagine going out that way too. You get hit by a car, and then like all of a sudden there's camera guys and sound technicians, and you're like, dude, what happened? Like,
and then the funeral, dude. I mean, the obituary. Did they say that in the obituary?
Right.
Like, what did they list for cause of death in the obituary?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And how do you not go to that funeral and laugh a little bit? Anyway.
Okay, what else we got? Okay, Jenny Jones. You remember that talk show back in the day at all?
What was it?
Jenny Jones?
Yeah.
Okay, Jenny Jones got canceled because they did an episode on secret crushes. And this one guy...
Those always work out well.
Right. This guy's best friend was gay and had a crush on him. And he didn't know that the guy was gay. And he reveals it on the show. And it's this big dramatic thing, whatever. Then 2 or 3 days later, the guy who was on the show kills his gay friend who had a crush on him.
Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus fuck.
That's a dark.
Jesus fuck. What
like,
is
just out of like don't be gay at me? Like
I know, right?
Don't be gay and don't have a crush on me.
But here's the thing.
Honestly, it's like I just be like, I'm flattered. I'm sorry I can't reciprocate those feelings, but like that's fine.
That's us as millennials though. Like a Gen X dude is like, you made me look gay on TV.
But but a few days later, like, what did he think? I've always talked about this when people. I get that there's quote unquote crimes of passion. I kind of don't, because I've always felt like, dude, I feel like I could walk in on someone like a girlfriend cheating on me, and I don't like the idea of giving them that. Like, I would literally be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, you're not living here anymore, or whatever. Like I would not sit here.
The knife would be taken from wherever the knives are, and there would be. No,
man, I don't get it. I don't.
You would kill a girlfriend if you caught her cheating on you.
Wife. If I caught my wife cheating on me, if I in the act,
I would be very careful what you say right now, because you're.
I lose my goddamn mind. What did you say, Eric?
I'd be very careful what you say as you broadcast.
No, I absolutely would. This is not
okay.
If I had a wife and I caught them in the act, I don't think I would be able to stop myself.
I've never done it, because that's how they win.
I want that to happen so I can murder some people. It's like I see myself snapping. Yeah,
I just don't get it personally. I've always felt like I would just be like
a girlfriend. I'd be like,
you would go straight Eminem and Guilty Conscience and just.
If I had a wife,
yeah,
yeah. No, probably. I don't know. Maybe.
I think you better. By the way, Tyler, you better really hope that
what would happen. They might survive it. I would go off on
Tyler. If I were you, not to be too mean here, but if I were you, I would make sure you have like a gun for this situation, because there's not a big chance of the guy
I'm scrappy, and the thing is
probably gonna be much bigger than you.
I catch them in the act, it's 2 naked people, just like super vulnerable, and I'm in this situation of power.
Yeah,
so I feel like I'd be in between. I'd be throwing their shit out on the lawn.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have a problem doing that.
It's a spectrum. Like, I might be doing that too. I might be throwing stuff at them.
Here's like I wouldn't know till I'm there.
Yeah, exactly. I know something would happen. It wouldn't just be like, oh, this is upsetting. Bye. It would be like, no, this is. I'm gonna, a rumble's about to happen.
Well, I think you should understand that I don't think that I'm not trying to say that as an emotionalist person. I'm just saying it as like I'm always very concerned about, like, in a way, like I don't want this, like I don't want them to fuck, like they're doing the bad thing. Why am I gonna put myself in a position where I'm gonna go to jail because this person?
I totally get that. That shit wouldn't be going through my head. What would be going through my head is like betrayal and frustration.
I'm so used to it. I don't fucking care.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Okay.
And like I said, wife, not girlfriend.
But that guy to kill a guy, like, dude, like, obviously it's terrible. Yeah. It's ridiculous no matter what, because of the premise of why he's doing it. But dude, a few days later, what did he sit there and stew in his fucking shithole trailer going, that I can't believe that dude been gay all these years. Like, and then, 4 days later, he's like, fuck that fag. Like, dude, come on.
Yeah. See, it's exactly what he did.
I want to know what those couple of days looked like. Did they talk?
Yeah, right? Or did he just show up?
Yeah.
Like, maybe they had like an argument and it caused that?
That's what I would imagine, is maybe he's like, I'm going to go over and talk to this dude. I guess I'm going to bring this gun just in case.
What year-ish was this? I don't remember.
Like late 90s.
Late? Okay, so probably wasn't even text messaging, huh? Shit.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh.
It might have been like, bleeping each other or whatever.
Yeah. Fuck. I was trying to think of how.
bleep. And Nokia phones.
Okay, so let's do this one. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of those Of Love shows, and I always really hated that they got canceled. Do you know why they got canceled, Eric?
The which ones?
Yeah, the Of Love shows, the VH1 Of Love shows.
No, I don't.
Okay, so there was a show called Megan Wants a Millionaire, which it was Megan from Rockaway.
What genius! These guys are geniuses.
It was so good, though. It was so good.
I bet it was.
It was.
But yeah, the whole concept was that it's like all these millionaire dudes like fighting for her love. The guy who ended up winning 3rd place and then going on to I Love Money 3 and winning 1st place on that. Which the thing is, these things film so quickly. Like he went straight from Megan Wants a Millionaire to I Love Money like 2 weeks later.
Right.
So, I Love Money 3 does that, comes back, marries a woman in Las Vegas in like 2 days, and then like a month later chops her up, puts her in her body in a suitcase. They had to identify her by the number on her breast implants because she was so disfigured, and then leaves her in a subway station. And then a manhunt ensues for him, and he ends up killing himself.
Well, obviously.
As Megan Wants a Millionaire is airing. This is like episode 3 of Megan Wants a Millionaire drops in all of this.
And she was going to pick him. He was going to be the guy who won.
That's where, dude,
third place.
Oh, he got 3rd place.
Yes.
I thought she said she wanted to pick him.
She did want to pick him. That's the thing, too. She said afterwards she was in love with this dude and wanted to pick him in the.
See, that's where, like, dude, everyone that sits here and some episode, I know we're not gonna necessarily ask people I need you to do an episode because I want you to enlighten me more on astrology. Honestly, I really do, because I see you say stuff about it on Facebook all the time. But like, but my point of bringing it up is that's like, we all sit here. There's so many people out there who are like, oh, I have intuition and I'm deep and this. Dude, people fall for absolute monsters on a regular basis. Like, you know what I mean?
He had 15 dudes fighting for your love, and you almost picked the murderer.
Who chopped you up into little pieces, put you in a suitcase, and left you in a subway. And you're like, I liked him.
Yeah,
he seemed real nice.
But okay, like the same way you said that you would murder Vince McMahon right away if it meant the WWE.
Right.
I would absolutely
murder him.
Well, I guess the opposite. I guess it would have to be stopping the murder. But
because you want this guy to keep.
Totally fine with him murdering a second person if it meant those shows came back.
Right.
Well, so you do a good deed to make that the worst, seediest, grossest fucking.
I wonder if a guy like that, like, do you wonder?
Watch those
they're
shows,
great. They're the
fun.
best ones. I'm just saying they're still at that level of depravity.
There was a girl who pooped on the stairs on Flavor of Love. They're not classy shows.
They're not classy shows.
I wonder if a guy like I always wonder. I do wonder stuff like this. Like, I know this is some of the stuff I have questions about are not necessarily fully reality television related, but you brought this character into my life. Like, I always wonder, like, someone like him, would he have just done that to somebody at some point? And this, or was it like, you know what I mean? Or was this,
or is it like specifically,
or was it the show that?
Was it the show? And he started getting a sense of fame or something, or you know, or and I mean, I just always,
I don't know. You chop somebody up and put them in a suitcase. I feel like that was there before the show.
Yeah, okay. And the thing is, too, it's funny on Megan Wants a Millionaire, the few episodes that exist, and on I Love Money 3, which has never aired, his character was like essentially like a very intense dude who's like focused on like, I'm gonna fucking win this. And like, the kind of
I don't trust those people at all. Never.
No. What'd you say?
Not in those shows. Not in reality shows. The guy who's always like, super uber taking it seriously. I can't trust that person.
Yeah,
because
he won I Love Money 3 though. He did win I Love Money 3, and apparently in I Love Money 3, his whole thing was, I want to save my marriage with this money.
Anyone else think it's real fucked up that the guy who was
what was his marriage? The marriage of the girl
a millionaire won I Love Money 3. He doesn't deserve that. He's a millionaire.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
So was his marriage that he wanted to save the girl he chopped up, or did he have a marriage?
Yeah, because I should have actually misspoke a little while ago. In between, it was like 2 weeks in between Megan.
So they got married. He chopped her up, murdered her.
That time. Yeah.
Chopped her up, murdered her. Then went on another reality show to win money to save his marriage.
No. He went on. He married this girl after Megan Wants a Millionaire.
Okay, so he didn't marry the. Okay, gotcha.
And then was like, Think about that, though. He's been married to this woman for like a week, and he's like, man, my marriage is going down the tubes. Like, I need money quick. Like,
yeah, I'll go on. I love money.
Yeah. That was the one thing, though. If you got, when we talked earlier to kind of bring a little bit, some of it back, like when we talked earlier about getting on the shows, if you got on a show, then it's like, I know you guys don't watch sports, but in sports, there's such a retread of like coaches that they just hire the same fucking people. Once you got on a show, you could get on several others.
No,
it was
like New York has done like, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. And even shows that aren't tied to the production company that made her famous.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so here's another kind of, I don't know, fun one. I don't know if any of these are fun, if any of these deaths are fun.
That's a real
they're not me, so.
There was the show Deadliest Catch. I've never seen it, but there was a star, Phil Harris, who unloading a bunch of crabs for the show strained himself too much, had a heart attack, and died.
That's a tough job, dude. I never really watched the show, but those are tough fucking jobs that those guys do, all to give me my shrimp scampi on Friday night.
But 4 people haven't died from heart.
Well, but he didn't die catching the crabs. He died lifting them.
Yeah, but in reality, it's a lot of stress probably on that whole life that they live and shit like that. Like,
this is what I thought was insane, though. They aired the episode where he died and just dedicated it to him.
Well, he would have wanted it that way.
God.
Yeah,
that seems fucked up.
Right?
Well, how can they get away with that?
He signed the contract.
Yeah, I mean, they could do it.
And probably his family got paid for that, so.
I'm sure. I'm sure they didn't make it a joke. Yeah, I'm sure they weren't playing Benny Hill and he's like clutching his chest and fucking falling over. Yeah.
Like, seriously.
No, I'm sure they did. They did a little dedicated to Phil, whatever his last name.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
I'm shocked more people haven't died, because that show to me, although you are correct in that it's a reality show, I think that almost is more like the Steve Irwin, though. Like, those guys are doing a very dangerous job, and I guess you could argue that Cops is, but we know the difference. This is way, these are people like making a living in actually an honest way. But it's a very dangerous job that I don't know. I wouldn't fucking do it.
The risk is real.
Yeah, it's like Ice Road Truckers. What are those fuckers?
Oh my God, dude, fucking. Yeah.
Dude,
when you fucking consider that, dude, like when I was driving out fucking to Montana this year, I was driving in a small little SUV, white knuckling it down the fucking roads.
I've been there.
And these dudes are driving 18-wheelers on icy fucking hills in Alaska.
Okay, so we're not gonna end up getting to all of these, because I know like we started a little late, but we're probably about 40 minutes in. So let me
probably.
Okay, let's do this one. Celebrity Rehab has 7 deaths associated with it.
7.
How many?
7.
7.
Yeah. You should have had me guess, because I don't know what I would have guessed, but I
should have.
Missed opportunity.
I think if to be fair, I'm going to be objective. I think that if you'd asked me, I would have said between 5 and 10. I don't know what I said if you'd maybe put a number, but probably.
This place there was 3 seasons of this show. With like,
I wonder if Celebrity Rehab has done anything for any of those or not.
It's just a slaughterhouse. It's, hey, you like heroin? Come to this fucking place that's going to make you want to use more than you've ever wanted to in your life.
You know what's weird about that, though? Dr. Drew does Celebrity, right?
Yeah.
I think Dr. Drew actually does care. I just don't. The problem is but maybe he doesn't. I think
he's a psychopath.
Okay.
You think he's a psychopath?
But he might care.
I think he cares about the people. I think that anytime I watch that show, he was the one part where it's like, you give a shit. You're not.
Well, here's why I think he cares.
He's like a social worker working in just a broken system, trying to do his best.
Yeah.
The only thing I was going to
TV. I don't think more or less, like, I mean, he was always the kindest one to them. Like, the show would always try to get them to do drama stuff, but he was the one always calming them down in a real way.
Is that his character, though?
No, because it'd be like that. We watched
I've heard him.
Chance show, and Chance was the fake mediator who's like, I'm trying to help.
You can't do that with drug addicts, though. Like, you have to pretend you're trying.
No, I know. I just think like it's hard to tell with it's hard to tell with Dr. Drew because you could argue that he's doing the show so he's making money, but I just happen to hear him on other platforms, and I think he cares actually. But again, it depends. But then it gets down that dark road if he's getting paid to do that TV show. So I don't know.
And people are dying.
I think it's a middle ground. I don't think he's the devil.
What do
he knows he's making money off of it.
Died because of the TV show?
I'm going to run through the list of how they died. Real World star Joey Kovar died 6 months after filming his season of Celebrity Rehab. Mindy McReady did her show in 2009. She died by suicide in 2013. But her baby daddy killed himself like a month earlier. And get this, she killed his dog. She shot his dog in the head before killing herself.
Why?
I have no idea.
So it didn't eat her?
No. So Joni Laurer, China, from WWE, died of an overdose a year and a half after filming. Rodney King died of an overdose a year after filming Celebrity Rehab.
Who's that? There's some long periods afterwards. Like a lot of joking, by the way. Happened. They were on Celebrity Rehab because their lives were in the shitter.
Yeah, that's definitely a big part of it. Like, I mean, that's you're already.
Like, I don't know if you can entirely blame the show for all their deaths. If it was
like a tricky one
later,
okay, but get this: Jeff Conway died of pneumonia mixed with drug complications less than 6 months after filming Celebrity Rehab, and Mike Starr, who was in the same season, died from an overdose 3 days before Jeff Conway.
You know what you'd have to do, and I know this would take a lot of research actually, but you'd have to go through and see, was there only 3 seasons of it? Is that what you said?
Yeah, 3 seasons.
You'd have to see how many people were featured, and if you, I mean, it'd be a pain, but it'd be interesting to go see how many of those people after that show got sober,
cleaned up. Yeah. That would be.
But if you said 7 and there's only 3 seasons, I mean, how many people are even on each season?
No, that's the thing is there's like 8 people in a season. They're not big.
So that's a third of the people on that show died.
I'll give them a quarter. I think
okay, let's say a quarter.
Of those people.
But that's an insane percentage.
Yeah,
but it's a tricky one because
you got me.
They didn't help, no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. But those people were in a very, very fucked up place.
They certainly could have done it regardless of the show. It's hard to tell, I guess, with that one.
And if you are a drug addict, being on a reality show is not going to help you.
No,
it's probably the worst decision you can make.
Yeah, I wonder. The funny thing is, though, like if you remember when Bam Margera went on there, like his mom like begged him to go on there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And so, like, because she thought him be. So I know what you're saying. I think for a normal person, maybe going on a reality, like if you or me were to be like, oh, you could go on a reality show to get sober. But if you're a celebrity, there might be a thought process of that will help you. I'm not saying it's right, but maybe that would help you hold yourself to it or something more accountable.
The promise of fame might push you to do that stuff. You might.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't. But that's a tricky one for sure.
Yeah. All right, let me find one more. Okay, this one's kind of crazy. This one is not technically a reality show death, but it's pretty crazy. There was a woman who was an obsessed American Idol fan who changed her first name to Paula because of Paula Abdul. So when she died, her name was Paula Goodspeed. And she drove her car.
What was it before? I wonder if one, but Goodspeed.
She drove her car. Right. Yeah. No, Goodspeed, I think, is just her last name.
Yeah,
I wonder what her first name was before that. I'd just be interested. But
yeah, I don't know. But she drove to Paula Abdul's house and blew her brains out in her car outside of Paula Abdul's house.
Holy fuck.
Kind of commit, like, what is the like, do you think she was sitting in the car thinking, like, I'm going to go in there and kill Paula Abdul and I'm going to take her place? And then in the course of that, she went, no, fuck it. I need to die.
No, I think she came there
to her house.
Yeah, she drove to her house. I think she's
what do you think she came there for? Do you think that she came there to do what she did?
Yeah, I think so.
I personally, like, she showed up to kill Paula, but then ended up killing herself.
Like, maybe she couldn't get to Paula, and she's like, you know what? I'll just kill myself instead.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Why else would you go to her house?
Because you're
a gun.
Because to make your story and her.
Well, if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna have your name Paula Goodspeed and you're gonna kill yourself,
is a crazy connection. I feel like maybe that could be the case.
Yeah, people do that. Who is the guy who shot Ronald Reagan? Did it?
Oh God, yeah.
For, what's her name? The girl from Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
Whatever her name is. Yeah, he Jodie Foster. He did that like specifically to tie himself to Jodie Foster for
Was that Ronald Reagan or the Beatle guy that he killed because of that?
It was John Lennon. You're right. Yeah, I was thinking it was.
I was gonna say I think that was John Lennon.
You are right.
But dude, it's so weird when we talked about that earlier. Like, so me and Scott have openly on this show talked about how we wanted to be reality stars. We wanted that. We kind of didn't care about Tyler kept mentioning the seediness. We didn't really care. I wonder what is it in a human being? It's very interesting to me what in a human being is like, dude, I 100% like will say like I had that insecurity. I wanted to be famous for one reason. I was so insecure. I had no fucking friends. I never felt so I wanted it for this reason, but I never ever would have like gone to that level, like to an obsessive level of a celebrity. And I just wonder what that is in someone. Like, what is the difference between her and me? You know what I mean? Like,
I think mental illness. I think like
that she just had and
mental illness. Yeah, I think that.
Yeah.
Here, okay. This one for real, last one because we do have to wrap it up. But I gotta get to this one because this one is a good example of like them being kind of culpable. Two different people that Gordon Ramsay like yelled at in Hell's Kitchen.
Oh yeah, he's an asshole.
Oh my
One guy jumped off the building, another girl shot herself.
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah, he did that, right?
He did that. I'm fully on board with that. Gordon Ramsay killed two people.
I mean, I don't think you can charge him with it, but
it's pretty fucked up. Honestly, that kind of plays for him. I don't know why he wouldn't lean into that.
Lean into it! Oh my god! He's like, dude, I will talk you into killing.
I have already killed two people from
Did you say that one person jumped off a building?
Yeah, jumped off a building.
He really leaned into it. You know what I mean?
Oh, God.
Just on top of that building, like, I am a shit sandwich. Like,
Gordon, dude, that's a tricky one. You know, though, that's a tricky one, though, because I would say, dude, they did know 100% what that show's about, though. That show is not about him giving you a hug and saying your cupcakes are great. Like, he's going to find whatever fucking flaw you have.
Okay,
and fucking
just throw it in your face.
Dr. Drew and him are kind of complete opposites because you're saying Dr. Drew is kind of like a real doctor and a good guy in this fucked up environment.
Right.
And Ramsay is an asshole who killed himself cooking show.
Well, I mean, Ramsay is really just a fucking you've worked in restaurants. Ramsay's really just any middle level management at a restaurant who happened to get famous.
Yeah,
God, like middle level manager.
He is middle management through and through.
Like that dude was just a server. He was a busboy, then a server.
Swear as much as they possibly could. Every single middle manager at a restaurant would be him.
I don't think I've ever seen anything more obnoxious than a manager at a fucking restaurant who just was a server. They don't have any education. It's not like they went to school for business. They just were a server, and at one point were offered $2 extra an hour. And now they think they run the shit.
They showed up at work more often and more consistently than everybody else.
Right.
It's
now they get to make the schedule.
To be proud of, and all of them are super proud of it.
Okay, so we want to do final thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay.
I think that deaths with fucking reality shows are fucked up and bad. Sometimes
interesting
funny.
Take.
Sometimes funny. That cash cab thing, man. It's just that's gold.
Oh man. Dude,
I think the funny thing is, I'm sure you didn't mean to, but I think that this really ties into mine last week, and it almost needs more talk than a final talk, but it's just the very interesting situation of what entertainment is, what the value of it is, what the cost of entertainment is, and it's just very interesting. Like, who wants to be famous? Why do you want to be famous? Is it worth it? Is it not worth? I'll say this, like on my end, for example, experiencing only a very, very mild level of local fame in like the Detroit area. As I've gotten older, even though we talked about earlier and stuff, like as I've gotten older, I've realized that like I would like to keep doing what I enjoy for a living and not have to work a job I don't like. But I don't think that I would want to be Tom Cruise, for example, anymore. Even though I would have thought at one point I'd want to be a massive celebrity.
Too famous to where you don't have any privacy, you're never alone, like that sort of
right.
thing.
It's like in a mature, like Scott, like almost like Scott, like for me, like a mature thought would be when I was a kid, I'd want to be the front man of the band who just got all the pussy and the magazines. And now I'm like, dude, I'm fine with being the fucking bassist in the back who I get to play on a stage every fucking night, but I walk around and no one knows who I fucking am.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean? I've said that about like being a voice actor. I've always thought that would be the best.
Oh, dude, think about the people who do The Simpsons.
No one knows who you look like, but you're super famous. Like, you get all the money as like a super famous person.
Well, Tyler, think about someone who's like some of the people who've done for The Simpsons. Like now, some Simpsons nerds, like I know what some of them look like, but most of them have worked for 30 fucking years on a show, getting so much money, and no one knows who they fucking are.
Yeah, they have like mild. I could point out most of them too. I know,
but we're also kind of nerdy in that sense.
The classic seasons.
Hank Azaria could walk in the airport and not, dude. A lot of people would miss him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, well,
I would say like, for my final thoughts here, I would just say like, man, like I don't know, it's a tricky thing because like. I watch reality TV and like I'm aware it's fucked up. I will justify it as like, you know what? I'm stealing this anyway. I'm not paying for this, and it's already filmed. That's
right. I mean, dude, it is what it is, man. I mean, but
the fucked up thing is like you don't want to watch. The ones that I like to watch are the ones that are kind of more fucked up and have a lot of human drama, man.
Right.
The boring ones that are just like,
of course not,
filming this person's life and everything's kind of stable and healthy, like
obviously.
Yeah.
You want everything kind of fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like ruined.
I've watched all of Celebrity Rehab. I've watched all of those love shows.
I mean, you're not wrong. All of those shows are just like crumbling.
90 Day Fiance is either
oh my god
or boring as fuck, depending on.
Well, what about this one, dude? There's one I forget what it's called, but like where they meet in prison, you know, or some shit, and then they fucking I forget what it's called, but basically they just meet as pen pals in prison, and then they, you know, after they get married afterwards and shit, they don't even know each other.
Oh, I would maybe check that out. That sounds pretty.
It's a very good one. It's a very good one.
Nice.
Forget the name of it right now, but all right. Well, that was good.
Those teen mom kids are gonna be.
Oh, terrible. Yeah, terribly messed up.
Absolutely the worst.
All right.
So, Tyler, did you want to enlighten us with?
So, little hint to next week. I don't. Ghosts. No, I was thinking about doing some scary story stuff, and like each of our individual scariest stories we've ever experienced, or someone we know.
Does a scary story? I'm just already curious. Does a scary story, like if I were to share one, does it have to be paranormal? Because you mentioned ghosts, or does it?
No.
Okay. Cool.
You can go scariest story in general, or even if you know someone that has a good story, and then also like curses on movie sets.
Okay.
And it was
interesting.
Curses, yeah.
Yep. And
cool.
Curses for movie sets. So next week, check it out.
Scary stories and movie curses.
The podcast will be out a little. We will be doing this at probably around 5 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock for Michigan and 5 o'clock for Colorado. But because I have to work.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah.
And then for everybody else, just for last week we had really bad audio. Thank God this worked out a lot better. So we have better audio. So we are going to get these up on our Podbean hosting site. It's going to be just 2 Hippies, One Drunk at podbean.com. I'm not going to say exactly when we're going to have them up. We're still all kind of working on this because it's a new project, but
absolutely
this worked a lot better. So for anyone that's wondering, we still have to do 3 of those to get it on iTunes. We're not going to use last week's. It just for various reasons it just it wasn't going to work out. But it's all right. We're going good moving forward. And again, if you're watching on my Facebook page still, please like us on the 2 Hippies One Drunk Facebook page and also our YouTube channel. So that helps us all out.
Also, thanks for all the comments everybody gave us, and like interacting with us is always awesome, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So,
all right,
cool. We will see you next week.
All right, bye.
See you.